Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. And the Fenix BFU Big Blank Update Patch 1 has been released, and we're going to talk about that and much more. We got many updates for aircraft out of India. Foxteco Miltech releases their H-60 helicopter, which is quite the surprise, and a bit more, so stick around. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. Alright folks, so starting out, let's go ahead and start talking about the Miltech simulations and its release of the incredibly anticipated MH60 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I completely understand why. So first off, their deliverance of this particular aircraft is a comprehensive multi-role helicopter package. So you have the MH60R, the S, and the T variants. And let's talk about what we've essentially got with this aircraft. You have search and rescue, fire, bombing, and just obviously standard transport. This thing is incredible. Okay, so you have a total of 39 liveries that were included with the helicopter. It has TACAN ADF and a full MFD interaction. They've done a really fantastic job, you guys. It also comes with the Mission Hub add-on. Accompanying the MH60's Miltech is the new Mission Hub add-on. I'm reading this from their thing just to make sure I get everything on it. Available separately or in a discounted bundle. So, sorry. I just realized how I worded that. You don't get it with it, you want it with it. Okay, the Mission Hub introduces over 60 scenarios. Now, some of the things that I've already done with it is messed around with some firebombing. If you guys have been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll see that I've always loved firebombing. I'm a big firebomber proponent. I just absolutely think it's cooler than snot. So, played around with that a little bit. The graphics are absolutely phenomenal. The textures are amazing. The overall performance of the helicopter is fantastic. The VR performance, surprisingly, was really good. It even has a FLIR camera in it. The sounds have been produced by none other than the wonderful Echo 19 that I'm always bragging about. This thing is spectacular. I highly recommend you guys check this thing out. It worked absolutely beautiful with everything except for Sim Update 3 Beta, which in their defense, Miltech specifically stated in their documentation not to use it in Sim Update 3 Beta yet. You can pick up the MH60 for $37.99 and the Mission Hub for $15.99 extra. And you can grab this on any builds, Miltech or Blackbird stores. It's fantastic, you guys. I'm telling you, grab it. Next up, we have a new immersive audio pack for the Mad Dog X coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator both 2020 and 2024. So this is coming soon. It has not been released yet, but this new sound pack will include over 235 authentic sounds for the MD-8 series aircraft and will be fully compatible with the Leonardo Fly, the Mad Dog X MD-82, and the MD-83, and the MD-88 extension. Some of the sounds included are the MD-80's Pratt & Whitney JT8 Delta engines, unique cockpit ambience and system packs, battery whine, fan rack, gyros, circuit breakers, parking brakes, spoiler, motor, engage and disengage sounds, dynamic squeaks, bumps, rattles, rumbles, and more. The full feature list can be found on their website, but here is the highlights once again. So you have 235 sounds fully compatible with the Leonardo series, fully compatible with the 2020 and 2024 series of Microsoft Flight Simulator, carefully processed 48K hertz, faithful recreation to the MD-80, quote unquote, and then all the previous sounds we talked about and a bunch more. You guys, they have a ton in this particular build of the sound pack. Now, I have stated in multiple videos under multiple aircraft that I think sound is probably second in immersion to the flight dynamics of an aircraft. Textures are great, the things looking pretty and beautiful are great, but sound and visuals are obviously, sound and behavior, I think, are the two biggest kickers. So I really enjoy it when these developers start taking the time to put the sound in. And the bigger one, I think, that where sound really hits hard is in virtual reality, because you already have that 3D immersive experience that hopefully, if done well, takes you out of the three-dimensional world that you actually live in, puts you into the cockpit of these aircrafts and the scenery of these flight areas. And there's nothing faster, in my opinion. Well, there's two things that can kill VR immersion the fastest. One, mouse and keyboard, because you immediately get disconnected. But two would be the sound. When you're expecting to hear something in that three-dimensional environment and you don't get it, I think it's crucial. So this is awesome, and I really hope that this comes out the way that we're all hoping. There is a YouTube preview video that you guys can find, and I'll put a link to that down in the description below if you want to hear a preview of what the sound pack is going to sound like. Pimax is doing something absolutely crazy, and I think it's a wonderful idea, but it really shakes the game. I don't think I've seen anyone ever do something like this before. So Pimax has launched a new trade-in style promotion offering significant discounts on the Crystal Light VR headset for current owners of a wide range of PC VR headsets. The PCR Level Up event, as they are calling it, is aimed at simmers and racers looking to upgrade to a higher resolution experience without sending in their old hardware. So this is the kicker. You do not have to send in your old hardware, or current hardware, I should say. The Crystal Light offers 4K per eye resolution with a pixel density of 35 ppd, making it especially appealing for sim enthusiasts in both flying a Microsoft Flight Simulator, DCS World, racing, iRacing, Assetto Corsa, the American Truck Simulator. I can vouch for that as well. These are all things that I personally use it for, and it's a phenomenal experience. I will absolutely say that if you are a seated VR player, even having access to the Crystal Super right now, the Crystal Light is still the best bang for the buck on the market today. I think you get absolutely the most quality and performance per dollar in the Crystal Light versus any other brand of VR that is currently out there, in my humble opinion. So let's talk about how this whole thing works. How the discount works is, unlike a traditional trade-in program, as we talked about before, you do not need to send in your old headset. Instead, you simply have to submit the headset details via the official Pimax site, wait for the approval. This should usually happen within 1 to 2 business days. Give it a third if necessary. You'll receive a personal discount code and apply the discount when purchasing the Crystal Light. Now, let's talk about this for a second. You need to have proof of purchase, okay? That's one of the things that, people seem to be a little on the edge about. So, a very simple process. Once approved, users will receive a tiered discount dependent on their current headset model, up to $100 off. Now, that's not bad when you figure that the headset itself is $79.99, so you could kick that thing down to $600. When you figure that I just bought, about a month ago, I bought the Quest 3. And for no other reason than I wanted to test out mixed reality. Everyone was ranting around it. I want to be able to give some insight on it to you guys, and I want to be able to actually have a physical experience using the link cable. I already knew that it wasn't going to be able to compare it to any kind of dedicated PC VR, but I wanted to at least be able to have some actual real-world experience. So I picked that thing up, and it was $568 out the door. So when you figure for a significantly more powerful and more advanced headset, only potentially $100 to $200 more than that, it's absolutely the best bang for the buck. And also make sure that you guys use the code that I have linked down in the description below when purchasing any products from Pimax to save even a little bit more. So to me, this sounds like an absolutely fantastic idea. Pimax, that's one way to get everyone's attention. And again, I want to stress, you do not have to trade in your old hardware. You merely must prove that you have purchased one. India Fox Techo has provided a development update covering multiple aircraft projects for Microsoft Flight Simulator as well as DCS World. The team acknowledged the recent lack of communication, citing heavy workloads across several high-profile projects. Let's get into this. The Eurofighter Typhoon continues to advance, with most systems nearing completion, while some external elements like the landing gear and slats are still being finalized. The team believes the Microsoft Flight Simulator version absolutely surpasses the FSX and P3D variant in accuracy, though a release is not yet expected before the end of summer at the least. However, India Fox Techo, I will give them this. They put out absolutely fantastic work, so it's worth the wait. I will give them that. I would much rather have a complete model, as I've stated many other times, and a good model than a rushed model. In collaboration with HeatBlur Simulations, for those who may not be aware, HeatBlur is who developed the F-14 Tomcat for DCS World, extremely detailed version of the aircraft. So, in collaboration with HeatBlur, the F-16A Falcon is progressing steadily. The external 3D model is nearly complete, and initial work has started on avionics and flight dynamics. Meanwhile, the TA-4 Skyhawk has reached near final status on its external model, with cockpit work and early systems implementation underway, although the aircraft is a lower priority at the moment, so it'll probably be some time before we see anything from it. A remastered version of the F-35 Lightning II is also in development, with improvements focused primarily on graphics and some planned features expected to be introduced to the current product. In addition to these new aircraft, updates to the existing products, including the F-14 Tomcat, the M346, and Tornado, are in the pipeline, potentially incorporating code refinements developed for the Eurofighter. And lastly, the DCS G91 is still in progress, albeit at a slower pace than initially expected. India Foxtecco closed their update with a renewed commitment for better communication, while reiterating their priority remains on development. So, hey, at least they're talking. And like I said before, India Foxtecco, in my personal opinion, take all the time you need. Every time they put out something, it's always on par and on point. So, they're worth the wait, in my opinion. Okay, and finally, now the big news of the day. Fenix Simulations has released their BFU. I'm sure you guys can put those letters together. Patch 1 for the Airbus A320 family for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 as well as 2024. BFU Patch 1 is primarily a performance and stability patch addressing most of the game-breaking issues from the update last week. The main highlights of the updates are identifying and resolving several crashes and freezes, the improvements of VRAM usage up to 1.5 gigs in FS 2024, and sound fixes such as missing sounds and incorrect CFM sound set issues and general volume issues. So let's see here. First off, we got quite a few things here. So we got some of the new features are added support for Beyond ATC coupled DLC. We have improved differential braking, improved rendering pipeline and stability fixes, fixed offset entries, fixed MCDU input error messages, fixed intercell transfer valves, fixed the power refuel bus while not on the ground, and possible fix to the direct law after takeoff. There's a ton of art and sound fixes, so I'm not going to go through all of those, but there's a bunch of them. EFB, they fixed the potential errors when processing PDFs, and they fixed a potential issue with EFB brightness being saved at very low values. And then finally, with the launcher, display options are renamed to reflect their appropriate use. Use alternate display renderer, use display safe mode, prefer CPU rendering has been changed to force safe mode CPU rendering, and a one-time reset of display options to recommend defaults. So, they not only released the big effing update, but now they are also putting out patches for it to clean it back up, which I am super excited for. I will say that even with the issues that I experienced, which actually weren't that bad, to be honest with you, nothing that was game-breaking for me, knock on wood, but the new release for the 320 series is fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. Fenix is truly holding to their name and dominating the skies. But that's going to bring us to an end of today's Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. As always, folks, I hope you enjoyed this content and found it useful. Stay safe and healthy, and I shall see you guys in the next one.